first they had these $20 Tubmans, Steve Mnuchin, who's, printing up trillions of brand new fucking dollars. None of them are going to be Tubmans. They're all going to be looking like this crazy-ass son of a bitch here. This wild-haired, crazy-ass, piece of crap, low-life piece of crap. The United States of America, in God we trust. The White House, $20. That's what it says on the back. On the front, you got ML83-something, Treasurer of the United States, Rosa Gumptheris Rios, Secretary of the Treasury, of course, is Paul J. Jean, Series 2013. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Federal Reserve note, United States of America, $20. Jackson. So, instead of having the Harriet Tubman, you're going to have fucking, who's, Donald Trump, the president. So, Donald was sitting there saying that Harriet Tubman, you want that face on money? You want that face on the $20 bill? That's the face you're choosing. There was a big public process, public input. It went through a long, and they got the engravement. They already got the thing printed up. They're ready to do it. But, because Donald's a fucking racist piece of shit, he's saying, you know what? We don't want Harriet Tubman's face on money. We want this gorgeous face right here. This beautiful, long-faced, fucking mule. This, hey, Andrew Jackson, why the long face? My God, you could, land a goddamn Lear jet on that guy's face right there. I mean, my God, with that runway right there, you could, launch the spruce goose off that face. Jesus Christ. And talk about Long Island's right there. I mean, my God, fucking just long and slender. I mean, he's literally got a dick face. Andrew Jackson literally has a dick face. And we're going to sit there and make fun of Harriet Tubman, and this is the face that you're going to go with, and that's actually more flattering than his actual. Why has he got all that shit up around his neck and stuff? It's like, goddamn, Andrew Jackson gets a sense of style. Andrew Jackson is the founder of the Democratic Party. Isn't this insane? Abraham Lincoln is more for the Democrats, and then, Andrew Jackson's more of a Republican. But Andrew Jackson founded the Democratic Party. Abraham Lincoln founded the Republican Party. So the Democratic Party, the symbol is a donkey. It's because of Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, the jackass, a donkey, that jackass donkey. Oh, we're going to take the donkey because that's working class. That's, the donkey, the mule, that's power. That's how we plow, our fields. That's a dependable, creature. That's a good, that's something that's instead of what, an elephant? Oh, here's a fucking elephant. Where's this elephant coming from? Africa? Well, there's no elephants in America. So, yeah, the donkey is the Democratic Party symbol because of Andrew Jackson. He's the founder of the Democratic Party. He had the first convention. Anyways, so this is all about Biddle, fucking Nicholas Biddle, okay? So Nicholas Biddle, let me just talk quickly about panics, depressions, and recessions, okay? So Nicholas Biddle is going to induce a panic in 1833, and that's a downturn in the economy. It's a recession, literally recession, but panic, depression, these are all different words, so therefore they have different definitions, different terms have different meanings. So panic, I'm going to take it what it means on its face value. You've had the 1797 panic, 1807 panic, 1815 to the 1821 panic, 1837 to 1843 panic, and there's a 6-year recession, 1857 panic. A lot of panics, 1873, 1879, this is a panic, and this was the Long Depression, 1873, this is the Great Depression, the first Great Depression in America. They said, oh shit, 1873 is the year of the Great Depression. So the Great Depression actually should be called the Second Great Depression, but it was also called a panic. So is a depression a panic? Is a recession a panic? What specifically is a panic? 1893 is a panic. Panic of 1896, 1907 panic, 1910, 1911 panic, 1920, 1921 depression, 1929 to 1941. The Great Depression lasted for 11 years. 11 years. I thought FDR saved us. World War II, so good thing Japan attacked us, or we would have never got out of the goddamn Great Depression. It was like, shit, we need a Hitler to come by. We're not going to save our... Thank you, Hitler. You know, that helped the war economy in America. That helped us get out of the Great Depression. So that's what we just need some Hitlers, right, to pop up to help the. So depression is a sustained long-term downturn in economic activity in one or more economies. It's a severe economic downturn, more so than a recession. A recession is a slowdown in economic activity over the course of a normal business cycle, over 3 months, 6 months. So over a business cycle, so if 3 months or 6 months, oh shit, we're going down. So we could have probably lots of different recessions, right? But unless it's like the year, it's not like the Great Recession. Because if a recession goes on for 6 years, that's probably a depression, right? If a recession goes on for more than 1 year, maybe two, can you have a 2-year recession? I feel like 3 years, that's depression. That's long term, right? Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years you can get away with. After 2 years, it's a fucking depression. Our unemployment numbers are worse than they were in the Great Depression, the Second Great Depression, 1929 and 1941. So when I think about what a panic is and a depression and a recession, I think panics are recessions and depressions, but I think a panic is a little bit more because it's the public are scared and there's a panic, and so that, sort of frenzy, that paranoia, that panicky, sort of vibe is just making it go crazy and making it worse. And so I think we've, learned essentially now, okay, everybody, okay, the stock market has crashed. And there is no more money. The American dollar is worthless. But, take a breath. Don't panic. So, okay, then we have to just, ride out a depression, ride out a recession, figure out, different industries, different jobs, different businesses, figure out how to get our money in a different way. Since it's going to be, people are going to lose their jobs, losing businesses and shit. So, the 1973 to 75 recession, 1980 recession, the Great Recession 2008, and the 2020 Great Lockdown. So there's no panics apparently after the Great Depression, the Second Great Depression under FDR or under Hoover. There's no more panics. Well, is that because people aren't panicking, or is that because they're trying to say, okay, all right, don't panic. Warren Buffett just sold all the stocks. Kentucky is banning everybody from going to church, and now Donald Trump has embraced socialism, and he's passing out free checks to every American out there just one time, because fuck you poor peasant assholes. He's going to give Wall Street all the money. But, so yeah, panics, depressions, recessions, great times. So a lot of people are going to blame the shutting of the Second Bank of America by Andrew Jackson, the founder of the Democratic Party. They're going to blame him shutting down the Bank of America, and they're going to say that caused the panic of 1837. So after the 1832 election, it was all about the Bank of America. Should we keep it? Should we shut it down? Andrew Jackson's going to win the election. He's got a mandate to shut the fucking bank down, the biggest mandate in the world. This was the main issue of the day, October 7th, 1833. Nicholas Biddle, the president of the Second Bank of the United States, is going to hold a panicked meeting. Oh, shit. Right? Andrew Jackson's got this mandate, and he's making moves to shut me down out of business for good. 1836 is when the charter is officially done and over with. So Nicholas Biddle holds a meeting with the board of directors, the bank's board members. So that'd be like the Fed Reserve or the board of directors and the CEO, the president of the Dirty Dozen regional federal banks. So he has this meeting in Philadelphia, secret meeting. Shh, everybody quiet, So they go to Philadelphia and the bank's board members, and he announces that the Bank of the United States is going to raise interest rates in the coming months to stockpile the bank's monetary reserves. So print up trillions of dollars, right, and then stockpile. No, but they're going to raise interest rates in the coming months, right? Really put the squeeze on America. And also Nicholas Biddle is going to reduce discounts. I don't know if that's a discount rate or discounts in general. He called in loans, making everybody pay their loans, demanded that state banks honor the liabilities that they owe to the Bank of the United States. So he is just squeezing everybody, raising interest rates, reducing discounts, stockpiling his own monetary reserves, stockpile his own silver and gold and maybe some paper currency. Probably not, right? No, fuck that commercial paper. You bought that commercial paper. I ain't giving you silver and gold for that commercial paper. Right? Nicholas Biddle is just, just swindling the entire world. And now he's asking the state banks to pay all their loans up. Hurry up, we got we got bills to pay too. Nicholas Biddle deliberately instigated a financial crisis, a small, short recession, but deep, and one that was strongly felt, and a panic, believing it would force the nation, the president, the Congress, and the people to realize that a bank, a United States bank, is necessary and vital. The ties, this is Nicholas Biddle. This is what Nicholas Biddle actually said. The ties of party allegiance can only be broken by the actual conviction of distress in the community. Nothing but the evidence of suffering abroad will produce any effect in Congress. I have no doubt that such a course will ultimately lead to the restoration of the currency and the re-charter of the bank. So suffering abroad, spread the misery, right? Just make sure everybody's fucking miserable. That's what Nicholas Biddle's going to do. And he is just, absolutely certain. He's 100% confident of this course by raising interest rates, calling the loans, telling the state banks to pay him just so he could stockpile, just so he could put more money in his vaults. And to, show the American people and Congress and the government that, hey guys, I'm important too. You want to fuck me over, America? Fine. Nicholas Biddle said, I'm going to fuck you over first. And he cried. But his plan is going to backfire. So apparently, when you crash the economy intentionally, they say, hey, that asshole just crashed the economy intentionally. He just fucked everybody over. And then people are like, oh, he's the one that did it? I thought he was saying that we needed him, but he's the one fucking us over? Then fuck him. And so his plan backfired because they realized that Andrew Jackson, all that bullshit rhetoric about corruption and the moneyed interest and the moneyed class, even Andrew Jackson himself, halfway through it, Henry Clay, they wanted to switch sides. They didn't really know which side they were actually on when it come to the great bank debate, but they already, chose their sides, and then they entrenched themselves. Andrew Jackson, get rid of it. Henry Clay, Nicholas Biddle, no, we have got to keep it. So credit is tightened across the nation, right? You got to pay your loans. Interest rates are sky high. So businesses are closing. Workers are losing work. This is 1833. He induced a panic. And when people go up to President Andrew Jackson saying we are poor and we're losing our jobs and we're losing our businesses, Andrew Jackson says, why are you looking at me? I don't have the money. Go to Nicholas Biddle. So the president is saying, I don't have the money of America. Go to Nicholas Biddle, the president of the bank. So don't be like Donald Trump saying, go to Jerome Powell. I don't have the money. I'm just, the guy who signs the checks. It's Jerome Powell's the one that's got the trillions of dollars. Go to Nicholas Biddle. We have no money here, gentlemen. It's Andrew Jackson. Biddle has all the money. He has millions of specie, which is gold and silver, in his vaults at this moment, lying idle. And yet you come to me to save you from breaking. I tell you, gentlemen, it's all politics. He's got money in his vaults. He's the one with the money. We don't have the money. He's got the money. And he just lets it sit there. He's not even using the damn thing. Senate censured Andrew Jackson, but the House passed a bill getting rid of the bank, and they wanted an investigation to see if the bank did induce the 1833 panic on purpose. So this is fantastic news for Andrew Jackson, right? Because he's like, I want to, get rid of the bank, but he has to do it, legally, legislative branch, judiciary, do all that way. So Nicholas Biddle now, without the charter, without it being re-chartered, and then him taking all the money out of the bank, he's like, well, shit, then we don't have a public mandate. He just turns the second bank of the United States into a totally private bank. So kind of like U.S. Bank today, Bank of America, all these private corporations, right? Now they're totally private. They don't have any public interest whatsoever. Their public interest, like Milton Friedman says, is just to make a shit ton of fucking money, to profit off the backs exploit as many motherfuckers as possible, build up them reserves, get them interest rates, put out them loans, and foreclose, take that land back, or get them to pay, some interest rates and make billions of dollars. So only accountable to the private stockholders of the bank. So now you had Nicholas Biddle, who was accountable to America. Now it's a private, bank only accountable to the stockholders. So the Federal Reserve is owned by the member banks, the stockholders of the Federal Reserve. There are stockholders to the Federal Reserve. It's not the American people. The American people are not stockholders in their own Bank of America, the Federal Reserve, the central bank, so-called governmental central bank, which is privately owned. They hide behind the private thing, but their whole thing is supposed to be for the fucking people, for the country, for America, to stop bank runs, to stop depressions, to stop panicking, the panics and the recessions, right? To control the monetary policy, to make sure that our economy is a world-oiled machine, make sure we all got work, make sure we're producing and, adding to the GDP and, like I said, good jobs, business. Anyway, so the Coinage Act. So that's what Nicholas Biddle is going to go ahead and do. So the Bank of America, there's no government. The Bank of America says, hey, we're the Bank of America, but they weren't the Bank of America. They were just a totally private bank, and they weren't accountable to anybody in the United States, just totally private. So they went from being very vastly important, and they were private, so they didn't have to tell anybody, but now they're not important, and they only got a handful of. So the Coinage Act of 1834, this changes the ratio of silver to gold to 16 to 1. And so silver and gold is, the only stable currency certificate, gold, silver certificates, anything that's tied to silver and gold. That's all that was good currency to Andrew Jackson. So he was a bimetallist. The Coinage Act of 1834 changed the ratio of silver to gold to 16 to 1, therefore deflating silver and inflating gold. Andrew Jackson considered rechartering the bank or starting a brand new one. He was like, shit, maybe I should, just give this bank its new charter. Or maybe start a brand, we need a bank, right? Like America needs a bank. But he's like, I'm going to give my experiment of this, let's have no bank for America. Let's see if this, give it some time to work. See if this experiment will work. January 1st, 1835, Andrew Jackson is going to pay off the entire U.S. debt. This is fantastic. This is the only time in American history it's ever happened. So, will America pay the $23 trillion that we're in debt right now? No. We will never pay the $23 trillion, $25 trillion. Donald Trump's already added $4, $5, $6 trillion to the debt. How much more debt are you going to add to the shit, Donald, talk about being, a shitty bullshit conservative. Keep, cut taxes somehow for the wealthy. Why? Because you keep putting money up and then putting, saddle the American people with the, Jesus Christ, privatized profits, but then, risk. Go ahead and socialize that and give it to the American people, huh? So we've only paid off our debt one time, and it was January 1st, 1835. We had, there was a surplus, and we balanced the budget under Clinton, but we've been running deficits and having debt ever since then. So we've only paid off the entire debt one time, only one time. So that should be pretty instructive. 1836, Andrew Jackson is going to depart after 2 terms voluntarily. The first Democratic Convention nominated Martin Van Buren, Andrew Jackson's successor. First Democratic Convention. So the jackass, right? Jackson, Andrew Jackson, jackass, donkey. Well, you call me a jackass? Fuck it. Donkeys are cool. Donkeys are the ones that pull our plows and, help us raise crops and shit. We all could use a good donkey. What the fuck you rich motherfucker sitting there insulting us like a donkey's something beneath us. It ain't beneath us. Regular worker folks. The first Democratic Convention nominated Martin Van Buren, so Andrew Jackson was smart when he chose his successor. A lot of times you have a lot of issues and wars and shit in Europe because they didn't choose, the king didn't choose who they wanted to succeed them. So he picked Martin Van Buren. He's going to get nominated at the Democratic Convention. April 4th, 1841, the second Bank of America officially closes its doors. So it was chartered in 1816. 1836 was 20 years. So it lasted 5 years past this 20-year charter, 25-year charter. Martin Van Buren, the brand new president, is going to create an independent treasury, and that's going to persist into the Fed, the Federal Reserve's creation in 1913. So for 70 years, this independent treasury is going to be essentially the Bank of America before we actually get another third, privately owned corporation. The moneyed interest came back. So fuck it. Fuck Andrew Jackson shit all to hell, right? I would like to have a bank where you put your money in it, and then later on, you can just get your money out. But because we are dependent on banks to put the money into the banks, and they profit somehow off this shit, if we all went to go get our money, they would have no money at all. They multiply it. They have a money multiplier where they just create money out of fucking thin air. So not only is the Fed printing money up out of thin air, the money multiplier effect is just electronic, just a button, a little cursor on a screen, a file on the computer. Just it's on an electronic screen. That's how much money you got, right? Oh, there it is. So what happened? What happened? We destroyed the, National Bank, and Andrew Jackson destroys the second bank of the United States. There's going to be a panic of 1837, and some people say it's because of that. I think it's some other reasons. I think there's some other shit. The price of cotton, everything was dependent on cotton. The South depended on cotton. The price of cotton dropped drastically, and that fucked, the South over for quite some time. And so we ended up with state banks. And they either issued out, currency or not, or they took money in silver and gold. Andrew Jackson was a sound, hard moneyist, so just silver and gold is the only kind of payments you could buy for federal lands, therefore setting the example that just gold and silver is the only, Central America of the land. There was no paper currency. There might have been paper currency by the second bank, but it wasn't the Continental, it wasn't the greenback. I've read the history of money, and they're talking about currency. I think it's just silver and gold, so I don't know what kind of currency. Maybe commercial paper. So they were just, doing a bunch of fictional bullshit, but not actual U.S., currency by the bank. So no Continental, no greenback, no actual American dollar. And so, yeah, that was the wisdom of the times, silver and gold. That is good, sound, hard money, still is today. They got industrial uses. We should have base our money on a commodity. What's the most useful commodity in the entire world? That's what the economy should be based on. The top 3 or 4 or 5 most useful commodities. Is there an element, a specific element or a specific thing? Gold and silver, just because they're pretty. I don't know how much industrial use you could get you to. There's something about electricity, silver and gold, I think, is in laptops and computers. But, when it comes to actual usefulness, it's just useful as money. And so we're just going to have pretty things, pretty seashells, fiat currency, free-floating fiat currency, and just hopefully we all just keep pretending these pretty-ass green dollar bills. They're not even that pretty. They're not even, where's the Tubman's at? We got that ugly-ass Jackson face on. And he was anti-bank and anti-money, and his face is on the fucking money, so how ironic, huh? So I don't know if we got inflationary paper money or what happened at the end. But I do know, essentially just that main fucking point, Nicholas Biddle. Nicholas Biddle, these reactionaries. Oh, shit. Andrew Jackson's going to do something for the working class, us one-percenters, financiers, our plutocrat. Our gravy train is going to come to an end. So I'm going to tank the fucking economy, and I'm going to force Americans to realize, force them to my will, and if you don't do as I say, then I will I will just destroy your economy, make you have no businesses, and make you quit your job. You won't have no money to do shit. I will wreck your economy, therefore wrecking your life. That's Nicholas Biddle. So I think you should expect the Fed or the bankers or the 1% or the billionaire class to, all these bastards will do the exact same thing because they thought the bank was so fair, because they thought the bank was actually helping the working man. Is that why they tried to, save the bank and sabotage Andrew Jackson? No, because they were, corrupt and making shit tons of fucking money off the backs of the American working people, the regular peasant class, the plebes, the plebeian, the proletariat, the masses yearning to breathe free, the labor classes, the average, decent, good Americans, the ones on the side of the oppressed, the freedom fighters, liberators. So, yeah, was it good? Was it bad? I don't know. I'm going to keep investigating it because I think looking at these depressions and panics can be instructive for these recessions. Perhaps we're not panicking, or maybe we should be panicking. They're just trying to, all right, everybody, don't panic. Meanwhile, they're getting their friends and family out of fucking Dodge while you're staying in the burning building and, you're not saving your own. So, all right, guys, you all don't panic, but, so, yeah. We ended up with inflationary paper money instead of printing up. Printed up by the state banks. State banks were printing up their own money, so they went hog wild. State banks now had the power, so they started, speculating, and they started. But they're independent, so you can't say all of them were doing that. So I think you really have to look into it. So yeah, they all like paper money, right? Oh, we printed up paper, and you think that's value? Okay, here's a piece of paper where you give us food and water and clothing and land and real things like assets and shit. Here's some more paper. You really like these papers? It looks like the wampum, right? Seashells. Hey, Native, you like these seashells? Here's a bunch of seashells. No, here's pretty trinkets and seashells. How about this? I'll give, for Manhattan, here, I'll give you 5 seashells, huh? Call it a deal? All right, peace out. So, yeah, fuck you. Fuck Nicholas Biddle. Just remember that, America. Remember that main point. Nicholas Biddle fucked America over just to save the bank. Didn't change the policies. Didn't make it better for the working class. Didn't say, okay, we'll reform. Okay, we'll make it better. How about a brand new bank? Could we be part of it? No, nothing like that. We want to keep the gravy train that's been making us rich as fuck. Andrew Jackson wants to fuck us over, so we're going to fuck him and America over until they realize who's boss. Well, Nicholas Biddle, you fucked up. That, if anything, that played right into Andrew Jackson's hands. America saw that you are a corrupt piece of shit, buying up politicians here and there and all that. A lot of these things could have been forgiven, but fucking tanking the entire economy on purpose, that's the whole point of the goddamn bank. If anything, it would have been better off to, spread the wealth and not spread the misery, but spread the wealth, pass out free, gold coins to everybody. Just give everybody a gold coin. I guarantee you that would probably, America would be like, oh shit, that Nicholas Biddle, even if it's like a tiny little, a dime size of gold. Here's a dime size of gold. Well, shit. I'll take this dime size. You're just going to take the financial system, and that's fine with me. Well, shit, that's the same thing with the $1,200 pittance. That's the same shit today. Here's a little gold coin, America. Now, we're going to go ahead and take all the money in banks and the financial industry. Thank you, though. Thank you. Yeah, 1235. This is, Johnson Masters, straight out of Louvetti, Southern Colorado, Castillo County, Sunday, April 19th, 2020. Peace.